Do, 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 do. All right, good stuff. Yeah, it's just doing sound check right there. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We just tweeted out so everybody joined in here. Good stuff. Good, good, good. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. Happy Tuesday. So, today we're going to be continuing our conversation on day trading 30-minute strategies with inside bars. So we talk about this a lot, right? It's a great tool to use, and the 30-minute chart happens to be a really good one to use with it, right? So before we get started, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Do 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 do. 1 second. I just need to message this right here. There we go. Cool. Good, good, good. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see where we left off with the market here today. And then we're going to take a look at the futures and see what they're up to this evening and might be setting up to into the rest of the night and into tomorrow. And then we'll go over the topic, and then we'll take questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right, so SPX still with an inside month, green as we see it right now. Upper shadow off the upper Bollinger Band here on the monthly. Weekly chart, a little bit red, right? So we were up 16 points today, so we got a little bit of rally, right? And our big concern right here is this going to turn into an evening star reversal on the weekly chart, right? If we end up closing the week over 50% of the range of this candle, right, it could be nasty, especially if we get back below this this prior resistance area. But right now, that prior resistance area here on the daily chart is serving as support. If you remember how we got here, right, we had a big breakdown of the macro upward trend line. Now, we still haven't gotten to all-time highs, so this trend line, we're still in this big trend box right now. So we're seeing a lot of type of corrective type action. However, breaking out of this this corrective channel here has shown us that correction was done. And right now we're looking at a 1, 2, 3 so far, and a possible wave 4 down, and waiting for a hopeful wave 5 back up. But they're not making it easy, right? So right now we're seeing possible ABC here for a wave 4. So that could be good. We have an inside day today, but we could not close above the ADMA or the cloud, and we certainly didn't get a lot of volume today, at least not as much. We did pretty decent volume. There was some good contracts traded on the S&P futures, but overall volume was still declining over the last 3 days. So, inside day here so far, also on the SPY, right below the cloud, below the ADMA. So right now, we really just need some proof that this thing wants to get strong to show this is over. Now, does that mean that the wave 4 is in? Maybe, right? So we got to go to the hourly chart here and kind of take a look at it, right? So here's the 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So really, if we want to see an impulsive move up, right, we really need to see a 1, 2, and this could be, kind of a little bit of a wave 1 up here. This could be a wave 2, right? And at that point, we kind of look at the retrace right here, and we're sitting right at the 618, right? So that's a key level for it to hold at. If this thing does want to impulse up, this is the place it needs to do it. Otherwise, we may see a larger move down, we just have to see really at this point here if it holds the wave 1 for wave 4 to be valid. Other than that, then everything the whole script kind of changes, right? So we're going to keep an eye on that one. Let's take a look at the intraday price action here today. So overall at the open, we were in sort of an extreme fade mode today. So when we got to the highs today, we kind of expected, we had some key levels right here, big drop down level from yesterday. So we kind of expected a downside move right here. So we did get a nice push down here on SPX. And then we got to the lows, right? And couldn't get to the closing gap, but we got to the lows right here, got a nice lower shadow, right? And worked our way back up. So we had a nice push up here, right? And then we got really, really high. We got to a couple other major levels out here. Tweezer top, and that pushed us back down. And then we got back to the lows again. We bounced, and then we finished the day up. These are the levels that we provide to our members before each market opens. So you can see how valuable this could be, right? So this is a big volume level right here. We could not stay above it. And once we got retested that volume level, we got a nice push down off of that one. So you can see how nicely those levels do play out. Let's take a look at the S&P futures. You'll take another look at what we look at as well. So we set up supply and demand zones before the open. We provide those to our members. And you guys see that when I tweet out charts too publicly as well. But this was some key areas, right? So we can see here we had a rally-based drop area here. This was a good area for us to get short here today, right? So gave some nice opportunities to the downside, a couple nice retraces to get involved, right? And then we bounced off of the prior lows right here. This is a key level to bounce off of, and then we got all the way to the next signal zone here, bounced off of this zone, got to this zone, right? So we like to look at it as a signal zone ping pong, right? So and then this was a great one right here. This was a great opportunity right here today. This is very, very fast, and this retrace, we were actually kind of leaning bearish, right, because of the initial move down, right? So if you look at the wave count on this one, it's kind of like a 1-2, and we're just kind of waiting for that wave 3 to get going. And so we had the first move down here, so it's kind of like a 1-2 of a wave 3, and that was a great 618 retrace right there for really a bigger move than I thought it was going to do. My target was basically right around here, and it really just flushed out of that one, which was nice. Rally back up to the signal zone for a retest, and then another move down. And so tonight we're kind of heading back to those levels, right? So it might try to work its way back up here to the seed in the breakdown, but we need to see how it handles that. We do have an open gap here from the settlement, right? So we do have an open gap right here as well, and so from the just from where we open, and so let's kind of keep an eye on that to see if that's a potential target for the bears tomorrow. But in the meantime, we are channeling up right now, so let's kind of put this on. Let's turn this into a channel, and let's see what we got going on here. So we got this, right, and let's see how that holds here through throughout the rest of the evening, and where we end up into the morning. So good stuff there. So good. So let's take a look here. Today at the topic, we're going to be continuing our conversation on day trading 30-minute strategies, and today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite ones, which is inside bars. Right, so we have those coded in here. You can see on the on our charts, our inside candles we color yellow. It just is a good indication to say, hey, something's going on here, something might be changing, and let's take notice. Right, it's signaling us that there may be a potential move. And so when we look at these, right, so what does an inside candle mean? It just means that the entire candle is engulfed by the previous candle, right? So that puts it inside that candle. That's why I call it an inside bar, right? So this was inside this one, right? This one's inside this one. This one's inside this one, right? And sometimes you get a double inside bar. You get two yellows next to each other. Sometimes a triple inside bar, quadruple inside bar. So you get the idea. But these are basically areas of indecision, right? So price, it naturally wants to just kind of break over, here it breaks over this high. It's continuing to work its way back up. But then it gets to one of these, and it's like, I'm not sure what I want to do, right? So these obviously are good on all time frames. When we go to the 30-minute chart, why we're looking at the 30-minute this week is because it tunes out a lot of the noise, right? So if we actually go to the SPX from the other day, right, we had an amazing breakdown the other day, and actually these 30-minute inside candles really gave us a lot of opportunity to get involved in the short, right? So here we had a big move down, right? And we had a nice pause candle right here on the 30-minute chart, and then that started to go, right? So that gave a little bit of a move there off of that inside candle, right? 34.69, right down to 34.65, right, for a nice 4-point move there. And then it kind of came back in the range right there. We paused one more time. It's like, we're hanging on to this level, and then we flushed off of it. So you can see how those can give us an opportunity to get into a trade instead of chasing momentum, right? It gives us an opportunity to be like, all right, let's watch this and see how it goes. And typically, what we like to do is if we enter into this trade, right, we keep our stop at the top of that inside candle, just above it, right, so we don't get a little bit of a wiggle over it, that type of thing to shake out stops. But a lot of times that's how we look at it off the inside candles, right? And then we can give a move, especially if there's a momentum move happening. One of the key things that we want to do is we want to make sure we're not at a key level, right? Because if we're at a key level, sometimes it's a little bit hard to get the continuation unless it moves. So in other words, if we're at major support or resistance, we want to be careful because there may be a reversal off of that, right? So we can get reversals off of those as well. Let's take a look at AMD. I believe in the last couple days we got a nice move off of AMD. So AMD, look at this. I mean, even today, look at this. A big inside 30 shooting star candle. Look at that big upper shadow off of them. Fantastic move off of this one. 81.55 ultimately worked its way down all the way to 80.58 for a 1-point move on AMD. Right, worked its way back up here. You can see we came into some resistance today. Right? Look at all those upper shadows up there, right? So once we got there, we got a nice inside candle off of that, and that ended up working its way down quite nicely. So if you're a patient trader, this can be a very good tool to use by tuning out noise, right? So definitely a good key right there. So we have some other things that we use in our group to help us, decide whether or not it's going to, get some more momentum on it, whether it's going to break out or not. But oftentimes these are a great signal to us that a move is going to happen. So good stuff. So that's the inside bar on the 30-minute chart. I hope you guys found that helpful. And at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those into the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can and try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. So Shirley is back, and send us a few in via email right here. So let's take a look at those again. Everybody, thank you for continuing to keep Shirley in your thoughts and prayers as she's getting better all the time. which we love. So Shirley sent a few good ones in here. So we got ARWR. Okay, so Arrowhead Pharmaceutical. This is a biotech name. These are typically the ones I don't mess with, but a huge breakout candle on this one, right? So it's a big move there. Just watch out for it, right? It's running into a, kind of the gap right here. So watch out for a little bit of resistance, but it's a nice breakout candle on that one. Decent volume, so let's see if that can get some follow through in ARWR. CVNA. This one has been very interesting. Very, very nice candle. In fact, let's put this on the bearish radar for tomorrow. I love the breakdown out of the piercing into the the daily cloud and a increased volume closing under the 50-day moving average. Nice bearish one to keep on the watch list right there. So let me get this pulled up here. Let's see, we got this, and tomorrow is Wednesday already, if you guys could believe it. Okay, so good stuff here. Good stuff here. So we got CVNA on the short radar. Okay. And tonight we had some earnings too. We had Netflix, we had Texas Instruments, and we had Snap. So all good stuff there on those. So let's see how those go in tomorrow, and then we'll take a look at these. And good stuff. Awesome. Great find on that one, Shirley. Really appreciate it. So good. So what else we got? So we got Okta. Wow, Okta with a nasty down move on that one as well. I think that's worth keeping on the bearish radar too. So that one did not hang in there really well with the software sector. So good find on that one too. So prior resistance levels right here. So could find this as support. You did have a hammer right there, so we're kind of bouncing off of that level a little bit, but see how it holds that prior area on Okta, that prior level. So good stuff there. And then Beyond. Let's take a look. So Beyond down about $7 today. That was a nasty pullback there too. There was a little bit of resistance area right here, right? That could potentially serve as support. Just kind of keep an eye on that one. But yeah, nice finds on those, Shirley. Great stuff. Geo, what's going on? Pins. So up about 2.5 points here after hours. Big inside day today. Actually, give me 1 second. Let me pull this up here on this other chart. 1 sec. Just want to take a gander at it. Okay, cool. So pins with an inside day today, and gapping up here after hours in sympathy with Snap, right? So Snap with the Snap attack, right? So Snap had a better than expected earnings and did a nice move. So now that we're at it, let's take a look at Snap. So Snap with a big push here, holding up really nicely. So up to $35 after hours, guys. Gapping up to all-time highs. Definitely one to keep on the bullish radar for a potential gap and go. So nice find on that one too. Good stuff. Okta we just looked at. W-Day, let's take a look. Good find on Okta too. W-Day. W-Day with an inside month right here. So let's go to the daily chart. So yeah, engulfing candle on this one too is some increased volume. So also one to keep on the bearish radar. Good stuff there. And then Netflix. So Netflix down after hours. They couldn't even beat by a penny like Snap did. So Netflix down after hours. Algo's tried to push it up a little bit right here, but it seems to be down for the count here this evening. Let's see how it does tomorrow. We're kind of in an interesting area right here, right? If we gap down, we're at like 495 right here. And we're not gapping under any major pivot, so there is a good chance for a reversal on Netflix. So look for a potential setup for a dip buy on that one tomorrow. So that would be definitely one to keep on the radar. Zoom. Evening star reversal on Zoom. We talked about the possibility of this, right? We talked about wave 5 being done, right? And we talked about this, right? That if it continued to close below 50% of this range right here, we might get an evening star reversal, and that's what we got. So evening star reversals sometimes get follow through the downside immediately. A lot of times they like to trick you out, right? Pull up here and then go down, right? So that's just definitely something to keep an eye right here. This could be an impulsive move down. Watch for a 618 retrace and then see if it's ready to start working its way back down again. It's had an epic run, so if there's a lot of profit taking and all that stuff on it, could make a move. Nice, Ryan. I really appreciate it. JKS, just epic. This thing is just nonstop, huge volume, all-time highs. Every dip has been buyable on this thing since earnings. Incredible. It's just nonstop. I wonder if on these red candles right here, if folks were getting short, they're like, oh, no, or maybe now. Nope. Right? So big day today on JKS. Again, this thing's going parabolic. So good find on that one. ZEK, what's going on? It's CSIQ. Let's take a look. CSIQ, wow, yeah, again, another solar name right there. Big move on solar today, so good stuff on that. Great find, ZEK. JKS, another good one right there, so let's take a look at Cake. I know you love this one. And why wouldn't you, right? Delicious, right? Nice inside day there, closing in the upper shadow of yesterday. could be a potential pause candle. Great find on those. Awesome, ZK. Appreciate it. Mike, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're doing well. Let's take a look at Tesla. All right, so Tesla, guys, earnings tomorrow after the close. I got a little bit more pullback on this one. Again, we were a little bit sketched out on it with the increased volume on it yesterday below the 80 and below the geometric line. It is what it is. Occasionally Tesla does go down. So it did push down there a little bit. The upward trend line is aligned almost perfectly here at the 50-day moving average. Maybe they push it down a little bit more to get everybody short into earnings, and then boom, it gaps up to like all-time highs. I'm very excited to see what it does for earnings. It's always entertaining. So let's take a look at Apple. Apples and bananas here. So not quite an inside day today. It missed it by 3 cents. But it did close above the 50, but an upper shadow off the ADMA. So it's kind of stuck here in the middle of the cloud right now. But it is holding its upward trend line. So let's see. It gave some nice upside movement today. James, what's going on? Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Jay, what's happening? Long time no see. I hope you're doing good. Good to see you. Creighton, what's going on? All right, we got a few good ones on the list here. It looks like CVX, oil sector. Tough ones here, right? Nice breakout of the downward trend line right here. Gave you a nice move up. A little bit of a pullback right now, so let's see how that's holding. Let's see what we got here from the recent lows to the highs. Yeah, we're sitting right at a 618 retrace right here, so it pretty much needs to hold there. I'd like to see a confirming candle above the ADMA to see if this thing's ready to go again. Vive, let's take a look. Vive, okay, inside day there today too. Again, a lot of these kind of software-ish names like Okta, names like that. Bit of an upper shadow there. Still holding the ADMA, so that's a little bit better than Okta. Inside day two, so keep an eye on those levels going into tomorrow. AYX, another software name. Hanging in there, but it did get a great gap up recently, right? So it's kind of just consolidating in this range right here. I'd like to see a strong close above the cloud to see if we can get out of there. Payc, I think you mentioned that one the other day. Great follow through on that one. Nice push at all-time high, say upper shadow, right? So a good place to take profit before that pulls back on that one. Docu, we talked about here, this being a possible A, B, C. So look for a pullback here, maybe to the 50-day moving average in that prior consolidation level. It could be a pause day there today on the downside. CVNA, again, this is a nice one here we looked at a little bit earlier. Good pullback there. I like how it's piercing into the daily cloud. DPZ, how's Domino's doing? Let's see. Domino's. Possible doji sandwich right there. I think you can order doji sandwiches from Domino's these days, but as long as they deliver it within 30 minutes. So we'll see how that goes there. And if it pushes down, right, look for a potential measured move down from yesterday's range. Square, hanging out there, just kind of getting really tight there at the ADMA. Could be gearing up for another move. And then SE. Again, holding the channel, guys. Holding the channel. Don't change that channel, right? So let's get this moving up here. Again, the channel continues. So a little bit of a bounce off of that. Upper shadow there, but it's still holding on to that right now. So good stuff there. Jay, yeah, let's take a look at SQM and see what's going on here with this one. So kind of a funky minor name right here, but hanging in there over the ADMA. That's always a good thing. Halliburton with earnings on Monday. Earnings on Monday, a little bit of pullback off of that one, but they gapped up above it today to squeeze out some shorts. They just couldn't get above these levels. So let's see if we can close above those levels there and get a move. Good stuff. And then GE. This is on our bullish radar the other day. Looks like we got a double pause day so far with an inside day. Let's see if that can give a move off of that going into tomorrow. So again, typically not a big momentum mover, but sometimes it does get follow through. EDOC. Yep, so EDOC, interesting right here. Yep, so sort of a global telemedicine type stuff. Inside day right there, again, kind of hinges on, more Corona, that type stuff. But a lot of these names got some big moves on this one. On ESPO. ESPO with an inside day. Sebastian, what's going on? Do you have a script for that? We do. We got a script for that. So for the inside candles, right, let me share this with you here. Okay, I'm going to put this here in the chat box, so you can feel free to load that into your TOS and mess with it as you need. But that'll turn your inside candles yellow. Alexander, what's going on? Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in. Ryan, do you like inside bars on the daily? Yeah, I mean they're great on all time frames, right? So they really give us a lot of clues. Right? I mean a big one, just as an example, recently was Apple. Right? So we talked about that here on the live stream. If you go back to the dates, we talked about it this day, right? And then we talked about the next day too, right? Double inside day right there. Big, real compressed too. I love a compressed inside candle, right? That shows this thing's really gearing up some energy right there, and then boom, nice pop out of those levels right there. So you can see you get nice pops out, and that's why I do the weekly inside candles too. So good stuff. Speaking of which, look at AMD on the weekly chart. This is one of the ones we tweeted out this weekend. So some nice downside action here off of the inside week, right? We had some nice upside action from the inside week the prior week, right? So the prior inside week. So good stuff there. Good stuff. Sebastian, NTLX. Let's take a look. I think you meant Netflix. NFLX, yeah, that's right next to the T key, so that's probably what it was. Yeah, so Netflix, guys, again, big thing. It's gapping down to this 494 level. Puts it below the 50-day moving average, but really it's kind of gapping into just kind of some congestion, right? So keep an eye on Netflix. It can be epic for reversals, so definitely want to keep an eye on tomorrow. We're going to be have some eyes out for it as well. Heather, what's going on? Hopefully Heather's got some eyes out for it too. So, but yeah, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. So we'll keep an eye on Netflix tomorrow, and a couple of these other names are pretty good here too. Tracy, what's going on? Good evening. I hope you're doing well. Let's take a look at Meso. So yeah, some Meso blast there. Upper shadow off the ADMA, big gap down recently, right? So I know you probably like the gap up on that one, but this thing is still range bound. I mean, really it is. I mean, even just like in this range, I just want to see a breakout with some real volume on that one for this thing to get going again. It's also an ADR, so a little bit of caution on that one too. UNH. Yeah, so UNH was gearing up okay, gave a nice reversal after earnings. Now it's just kind of chopping around this range, so just kind of get a triangle on this one right here, right, and see how it holds this over the next couple days or so. See if we can get a breakout out of those levels. So good stuff on that one. And then Facebook. So Facebook has just been struggling for so long, right? We were kind of looking at bear flaggish right here, and of course Snap makes a nice move, and this thing is up after hours in sympathy with Snap. So it's basically gapping up to 275. It's kind of coming into some selling pressure. Just keep an eye on it. It could go either way tomorrow. So good stuff there. Ryan, so you want to short JKS, but not just yet. Exactly. Let's at least get like a red shooting star candle, right? So eventually it'll go down. Just you don't want to fight the train, right? So wait for the train to slow down a little bit and switch tracks, and then let's see if we can get going, right? So Tracy, CALX. Let's take a look. Okay, yeah, so Calyx, big inside day today, down a little bit. Just kind of see how it holds off of those levels going into tomorrow. This is probably not one I would really mess with, but could be interesting. We got earnings coming up on this one that happen after hours. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so big up after earnings. We're at 24.40 or about 25. Okay, yeah, so just keep an eye on this one. Like I said, this is not one I typically trade, but I do like how it's gapping above. It's up at the 24 right now. So I do like how it's gapping above all the levels. So keep an eye out for a gap and go. Again, other key levels too to look for is 25. It's got some work to do if it wants to get above those, right? So those after hours levels. But great find on that one. Yeah, interesting one for earnings. Not one I typically trade, and not even sure how the options are on it. So just be careful with that one. Ryan, what's going on? GM, let's take a look. Yeah, General Motors had a big push today. This is a weekly chart, but 1 second. Yeah, big push. So again, they had a little bit of news today that they're going to be investing $2 billion into building all-electric vehicles. It's like, yeah, guys, you're a little bit like 5 years behind the times on that one. So so we'll see how that goes at General Motors. But they're teaming up with Nikola. Whether or not Nikola is legit or not is another question. But they're making an effort on it, and maybe that'll get GM going again one of these days. So we'll see that going on there. Alexander, yeah, Nike, right? So Nike today gave a good push. Again, the one thing about Nike is it's not really in a momentum breakout move right here. It is getting consolidated. So that was one of my concerns about yesterday's highs here, especially looking on the intraday price action, right? So we kind of got this, a little bit of a, flaggish type move going on here, but right, we go to the inside day, what we're looking at here is, trying to get over these levels. We got a lot of upper shadows off those levels and it finally reversed off. And here you go. Here's a nice inside 15 to work its way down, right? So so definitely something to keep an eye on right here. Look for a strong close above it with increased volume. See if it's ready to get going. And then Facebook again, gapping up here, but it's kind of gapping up into some congestion, right? So we might see a reversal on that one, right? So so tomorrow could be an interesting day, and we'll see how all these hold. So good stuff. James, CVNA. Yeah, we did look at CVNA, but a nice breakdown on that one. I know you mentioned that one earlier today. I mean, down 13 points here today. I mean, amazing this thing's even $200. But into the cloud, right? Big gap below. To me, we looked at a couple charts. There's a couple counts here on the Elliott Wave side that has this thing also looking like it wants to work on more of a move down. Kind of an impulsive move the last 2 days, so don't be surprised if it does do a retrace. But we'll see if we can get some momentum on that one going down on that. So good stuff, yeah. And then Roku, of course, was down a little bit with in sympathy with Netflix. Let's get that pulled up here. A little bit of a retrace off of this one. Looks like it's already done. It's 618. It's nice little gift horse retrace on that move. Let's take a look at this right here. Yeah, right off the 618. So it's kind of a key level right there. If you got shares, that's normally if you get caught, good place to minimize the loss. But looks like it's still heading for that gap, that open gap down below. Right, it's at 214 already, which made a great target on it, which is pretty cool. Doji sandwich, right? Yep, some pep with much pep and pineapple. I love it. Good stuff. PBIGO. Let's take a look. Wow, Pitney Bowes, look at that thing. Increased volume right there. Nice close above these levels. What's this thing doing? Powers commence in Canada. Setting touch levels all sizes. No real actual news, but huge candle on that one today. Beautiful candle. Nice breakout candle on that one. Definitely want to keep an eye on right there. Good stuff. Good find. Jay, so you need to step up your ticker game. Everyone always brings the heat. Hey, still got some great stuff. We appreciate it. ARK selling a good bit of CRM and buying a ton of Docu. That's kind of interesting right there. Two totally different companies, but who knows? CRM might acquire Docu at some point. Yeah, CRM's just kind of chopping around the geometric line right here. It could be getting ready for a move. I know this is one that Paul in the Elliott Wave group has been tracking right here. We're kind of sitting at the 382. I'd still like to see a bullish close over the ADMA for this thing to get going again. And then in the Docu too, just to kind of look at that one. Selling a bunch of ZS too. Cool. ZS hanging in there, right? It finally closed below the ADMA. So not a bad place to get out of it. So could see some downside movement. GM, yep, looking good on the EV news. Looking to get in around. Oh yeah, work. Whew. This is the trade that got away, right? So, oh my goodness, look at that pullback on that one today. But what a great trade here off of the good earnings, right? Good earnings. This is for the patient. If you don't want to look at your account every day because it gave some crazy upper shadows. But this thing really worked its way up to the cloud, and once it got over it, what did it do? It came right to that geometric line right there and found a little resistance. Came down here below the ADMA. So definitely something to keep an eye on there. Big move up here. Hasn't really given much of a retrace off of that yet. I like how the 382 is right at the cloud, so definitely keep an eye on that one too. So good stuff. Jared, wait, what else you got there? So in around 28, maybe a bit lower if we can get down there. Yeah, made deals with Google and Apple recently. Haven't seen. Yeah, kind of. Work. Why use work when you can use Discord free? Anyway, so Jared, what's going on? HDSN. Penny stock. Yeah, I know, penny stock. It's okay. Really choppy, really kind of choppy pricing. This is some tough price action right here. This is, with penny stocks, honestly, they're tough to day trade. These are ones that you have to have major sentiment on, are willing to hold for a long time, right? So, one of the ones that we liked for a long time was that Wrap Technologies. It was just so cool, and then after all the riots started happening, that thing just started ripping, right? So that's kind of one of those ones you just hold as an investment to say you believe in the company or what they do, right? So Hudson Technologies, not sure what they do, but it does look like a kind of a macro bear flag right here. But again, it's really, really tricky price action. So just kind of see how it holds. You can look at it as a channel, kind of a flag right here. So just see if in the next couple days it breaks down below there with some volume. But something to keep an eye on there too. So good stuff. Gaining momentum with China stocks. So okay, yeah, we'll see how it holds, right? So again, see if we can work its way to the top of the channel. Again, it's like a 10-cent move to get there. It's just a little bit tricky, right? So good stuff there. So Jay, what's going on? Good to see you. My pleasure. So James, you want a beast penny stock? Look at Opti. Let's look at this one. COVID comes back. This thing's going to be. Look at that thing. So yeah. So if you have a thesis on it. Right, you get some big moves. Look at this one. This thing went from 2 cents to 20 cents for a 10x trade on that one. So this is definitely something to keep an eye on. It could be interesting. Total gamble, right? So this is 100% lotto, right? Yeah, 2 cent stock, but it could be interesting. Got a big tick up there too. Anyway. Good stuff, guys. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in this evening. I hope you guys enjoyed the discussion so far this week on the 30-minute charts. And we'll We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, bright and early, with the Good Morning Market Prep YouTube video. So if you're new here, definitely click subscribe on YouTube, and be sure to hit the notification button so you can see when we go live. And whether you're new here or not, please hit the like button. It goes a long way. And even if you're checking out the recording, please hit the like button. I really do appreciate it. It does. It means a lot. So I really appreciate everybody for tuning in this evening. Thanks everybody for your questions and chart requests. And like I said, we'll catch you guys bright and early. And until then, stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first, and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll